Okay, so part 9, we're going to be looking at blocking. All right, so we need to set up a key binding for that. So we'll go to settings, we'll go to project settings, open that up. So the idea is we're going to press right mouse button and we are going to be blocking. If we are blocking, we can't be hit, but we can only block for a certain amount of time, something like that. We might not do the stamina thing because I want to do a whole series where we look at a more Dark Souls approach where we're using stamina for everything. But that's not going to be the next series because, like I said, I'm probably going to do a dragon next. But yeah, because I want to do a flying creature and see if we can do some stuff with that. Okay, so let's create an action mapping, and we want to call this block. Block, and we want it to be on the mouse, and it wants to be on the right mouse button. That's not the mouse. So, right mouse button. Okay, so close that down. You don't need to save things in the project settings, they'll just stay. And then let's open up our player, go to the event graph. So let's just comment this that we did last time. So what's this? This is take damage. This is hood. And this is death. Always good to comment your stuff, mainly because eventually you'll have loads of code. And you won't remember what it does, even though you think you will remember. And also, you can take these little chunks and place them in other parts and other blueprints, and just change a few bits. So it's always good to have them in these sections like this. Right. So block. So we need a variable for block, and then we'll make it a boolean, and we need to set up the inputs. So we'll just type in block and we'll get our action input event. So when we press and when we release, we're going to have both of these active this time. So when we press, we're going to set block to be true, CV. When we release, it's false. Okay, so while we're holding down the block button, the block variable will be true. When we release it, that's when our animation blueprint will be notified to stop blocking. So with that in mind, let's go to the player folder, animations, and we want the player animation blueprint, and we'll go to our locomotion up here. If you can't find this, remember you can find the anim graph and the event graph here. Okay, the locomotion is just here. All right. Block. So we want to be able to transfer between just idle run to block for now. Okay, so we'll create a new state, add state, call it block. And we want to be able to transition from block back into idle walk run. So drag out from idle walk run into block. And then double click on it to open it up. And then we actually want this one, I think, shield up. Believe that's right. And we don't want to be able to move while we do this. I'm going to make sure the character is locked in when they block, or else it's too powerful. Okay, so we're going to need to go and set that up here. That if block is true, we want to disable movement. Okay, and then when this is false, so when we let go, we want to set the movement mode to walking. Okay, so I'll just make a bit of space for all this. So while we are blocking, we can do nothing. Now let's compile, go back to our player anim blueprint and go to the event graph, because we haven't taken the variable from here yet. So as player BP, drag out, get block, and then we'll promote this to a variable, call it blocking. Can't name it the same thing, remember? It'll give us an error. And we'll plug that in so that we're always looking and searching for this for this variable, exactly like we've done all before. And by the end of this, or by the end of a much more complex character, you're going to have hundreds of these. So, disable set movement. I think that's right. All we need is the transitional rule. So go back to our BP, go to the locomotion, and let's go from idle, walk, run to block, which obviously is just grab blocking, get, equal Boolean, true. Okay, go back to locomotion. Now from block to idle, walk, run is the same thing, but in reverse. So equal, leave that unticked because it's false, and then hit compile. Now let's go give this a test. All right. Okay. So the problem is with that is that it's not a blocking idle. I don't think that's the right animate. Let's just see. So block idle. That's the one we want. Okay, so go back to player and in BP, go back to locomotion, double click on block, and it's actually block idle that we want, which is that one. Right. So there we go. Hit compile, hit play. Oh, wrong button. Right, and I can't move. We actually have to go and add a shield. Obviously, she doesn't have a shield, but I can't move. Now, what we want to do is we want to go into the enemy player and where she takes damage. Okay, so where she takes damage here. What we need to do to make this work is drag in blocking and get, and then drag out of there and type branch. Okay, and we only want to take damage. Blocking is false. Sorry, so come off the false, not true. So if block is false, then do this. If it's true, do nothing. Okay, so it'll do nothing. So that's how we can negate taking damage when we're blocking. But we also, if we do take damage while we're blocking, we want to set a block reaction. Okay, so we've got an animation here that if we are blocking and we do get hit, we want to play that animation. So we can do that coming off the true here, I think. So let's create a new variable called blocking hit. Okay, and if it's true, then so if you've taken damage, but this is true, then we'll set that to be true. Okay, and then what we want off there is a delay for the length of the animation, which I'm guaranteeing you is slow, so I'm going to fast. So I'm going to set that to be 0.5, but let's actually have a look. Sword and shield impact. No, that's not right. No, come on, which one is it? This one. So it is 0.7, so I'm going to set it to be 0.6. So the delay, 0.6, and then we'll set CV that to be false. It doesn't repeatedly play. So let's have a look at that. Let's go back into player and in BP because we've got to set it up here as well. So let's just make sure we've compiled, which we hadn't, so we have now. I'm just going to close the enemy. And then, because we've compiled, we can go into the animation, blueprints, event graph, and type blocking hit. Get blocking hit. Promote that to a variable. Call it block hit. And then put that there. We need to go to the locomotion. And then it's only ever when we're in the blocking state are we going to be doing that. So we only need to drag off there. So add state, blocking hit, and we only ever want to go back to block from that, right? So there we go. So from block to blocking hit, we want to grab block hit and do an equal boolean, true, plug it into there, go back, do the same thing here, but in reverse. I feel like I've said that quite a lot. I'm not 100% sure if it makes any sense. Same thing, but in reverse. That's maybe not right. So let's see. So I'm blocking. Oh, because we haven't put the animation in. Everything else seems like it's going to work. So we have actually got to go and assign. I keep forgetting to do that. Go to locomotion, blocking hit, drag in the sword shield impact shield up. Is that? Yeah, that one. That one. Hit compile. So I'm blocking. I took a blocking hit, but I've not taken any damage. Oh, yeah, blocking hit works just fine. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now, how much time we got left? 4 minutes. Plenty of time. So go to modelresource.com. And again, you won't be able to use these models in your actual games. These are just for prototyping and messing around in, okay, with, not for finished games. Eventually, we're going to do a series where, oh man, that might be fun to get, where we actually make our own assets, because essentially you want to make your own animations when you're making your own characters, because that's really what gives it the feel. But when we're just learning, it's fine just to have to grab some assets. So accept that so I can see. Right, and then we just want to grab a shield. So, ooh, that looks cool. Now, I oftentimes spend far too long like, oh, that's a nice shield, that's a nice shield. I'm just going to take that one. Believe that is like a Greek-style shield. Because what they would do with these is they would turn them and they would place their spears on these semicircular bits and then stab out with their spears, which is kind of violent. This is from a game called RWBY, which is an anime game, I believe. And we want to extract these files and hit go. Now, I don't know if this is going to work because not all of these files are in files that we can use. Yeah, but it looks like it's just an OBJ. So with any luck, we should be able to use it. OBJs, FBXs, they're your best bet for Unreal. So let's go to player, go to weapons, and drag in the shield, OBJ, hit import all, and if we're in luck, it will import the textures. If not, we've got them right there, so we can just drag those in ourselves. But it has brought them in. Now, the problem is, and this can be a problem, is that it's teeny tiny. Look, where is it? Well, oh, there it is. I don't know if you can see that. But that should be fine. We should be able to fix that. So let's go to the player Skelebon. So player mesh Skelebon. And then click on the left hand. Right click, add socket. We'll call this, oh no, we have to like click on it again to rename it. Shield location. And then we will put it into an animation. So click over here in the preview scene settings, and we want to use a specific animation, and we will use the block animation. Shield run, impact shield, shield idle. Yeah. Okay, and then pause it, and then we'll use that pose to place. So go to shield location, right click. We want to add a preview asset, and then find the shield. I don't know what it was called. It's there. Now it's going to be teeny tiny. You're not going to be able to see it, but you will be able to scale it up. So just go to the scale tool and then scale that up massively. Again, this is not good, but it's okay for prototyping. Get the shield sort of size you want, and then you can place it. Now you would be able to just take this asset into a blender or whatever and fix it like that, just scale it up. But it's fine. Oh, nope. I'm just going to hit play on the animation, see what that looks like. Okay, that'll do for now. because we have to be quick because we're running out of time for this video. So same process as we did for the sword. Click on the player so that we're inheriting. Add a scene. So we're inheriting to the player. So everything that we put in will inherit to the player. And we'll call this I before E, shield. Oh, my typing has been shocking today. She location. And then come over here to the magnifying glass and then actually click shield location. It'll snap there. With the shield location selected, go and add a static mesh. And we'll call this shield. And then we'll go over here and actually find the shield. Now it should remember all of the preview assets settings. So it should come in at the right size, which it does. All right, perfect. Now if we hit compile, go over to play, and then poof. Okay. Now what we might want to do is add like a little bit of a launch. So when we take a hit, we get launched back a little bit. Have we got time to do that now? No, we'll do that in the next one. All right then, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.